get smoked by a line drive here. Don't say anything too dumb. We're just gonna live. Our play-by-play guy he always has a class on Tuesday or Thursday, so he's like flying down the board trying to get here in time. And I'm like, I got you until then. Don't worry.
That's funny. Yeah.
Gotta act natural, you know. How about this? I'll give you pretend like I'm writing something down.
Yeah.
Perfect. Appreciate you.
And you're dropping in the middle.
Yes. All right, looks like we are live here. Welcome to Cardinal O'Hara High School alongside Ben Thorpe for the time being. I'm Brendan Ricciardi. David Chapansky will be on his way. You know how Blue Route traffic is.
Actually, it wasn't too bad today.
No?
No.
Coming from Conchi. He's coming from Nova. So I guess probably a little closer than us.
Yeah, much
Yeah,
closer.
yeah.
Probably like 5-10 minutes closer than we are.
All right, well, either way, this is Bennett. I don't know about you. I kind of feel like this is the most excited I've been for a game of the year or game of the week so far this year, outside of Haverford and Radnor, I would say, because this is probably the biggest rivalry game that we've had. I know that these two schools don't particularly like each other too much. And I would say, Ben, for the first time, really, since we've been doing this, it feels like O'Hara and Bonner are on similar playing fields in terms of skill level and team success.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is definitely the most juice that any of these matches we've had so far. I know last year was a bit of a blowout in Bonner's favor. I don't know how the previous year was.
It was a 4-3. I have it written down here.
Yeah.
So this was Cardinal O'Hara has not beat Bonner since 2018.
Wow.
When
Okay.
they played on opening day. It was the first PCL game of the year when they played that year. And that was a 6-2 O'Hara win. I think that might have been the year. I think they made it to the PCL championship, because I think that was like when Jim White was here.
Oh, yeah.
That team. Because then I think Carroll made it the year after. But all right, let's go over some lineups for today's game. On the mound for O'Hara will be Adam Schreiber. On the mound for Bonner will be Johnny Ortega. Let's go through the lineup here. Leading off and playing shortstop for Bonner is Sergio Hernandez. Batting second, a left fielder, a Delco Baseball Now hitter of the week is Michael Coleman. Batting third, playing right field is Ryan Friel. In center field, the sophomore had 3 homers on the year, Owen Lockhart. Batting fifth, the catcher is Cole Romano. Batting sixth, the first baseman, Gavin DeRita. Jack Redding will be the third baseman. He's batting seventh and wearing number 7. Batting eighth, the second baseman is Joey Graziani. And the DH is Jack Brown for the starting pitcher, Johnny Ortega. As for Cardinal O'Hara, as always, leading off is the shortstop, Brennan Till. Batting second and playing second is Jack Coleman. Batting third is the center fielder, Jack Quinn, who I imagine we could probably see in relief after Schreiber goes. Batting cleanup is the first baseman, Jason Corey. Batting fifth is the third baseman, Jay Campuzano. Had the huge go-ahead homer in their win against Ryan. Batting sixth is the left fielder, one of my favorite names in the area, Sean Vaughn. Batting seventh, the designated hitter for pitcher Adam Schreiber is Jake Steigerwalt. Sean McGillivray, the right fielder, bats eighth. And Thomas Flynn, who in one of our comments was called the best catcher in baseball, the BCIB and Delco, Thomas Flynn, bat ninth. What's up, Shelby? How we doing? So you ordered one of our rope hats. I'm excited to see how they come out in person. Anybody listening? What's up? Anybody listening right now, go on and buy a nice rope hat on the Delco Baseball Now website on the store page. You also have Etsy. You can go straight there, because our website was just totally glitching when I tried to make a store on it. It was just... I think the theme we use on WordPress is a little older. So if you try and do newer stuff, it's like trying to connect a USB port to a 1970s Mac. It's just like we're speaking different languages.
That's always a tough situation. Sorry, I'm trying to get the YouTube link tweeted out.
Apologies in advance. The internet at O'Hara is not great, so the video might be a little choppy at times. What we do know is usually the audio still remains intact. So just bear with us until we're rich enough to just buy a router or something to some fun of the game. Even then, there's really only so much you can do.
It's a fair warning. This viewing experience is going to be closer to that of a PowerPoint than it is a
Google Slide.
something like that. So bear with us. Maybe throw something else on and listen to our sweet voices.
If you're driving, you're probably having a great time.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. We need a radio broadcast. That'd be sick.
That's what I think they did for when Strathaven was in the state semis. We were at the game, but I think they were only doing a radio broadcast because the PIAA charges so much for the rights.
There's no way this dude's walkout song is Tweaker.
What's up?
There's no way this dude's walkout song is Tweaker.
All right, well, on the mound, we had High Point recruit Adam Schreiber. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he transferred from Interboro after his freshman year.
Really?
And he certainly looks the part. We'll say that.
Yeah.
He certainly looks the part.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Put up the numbers here. I think the big thing for him this year that has led to definitely better than he had played last year is he's throwing more strikes, because last year his problem was all the walks. Even on opening day, the walks are really an issue for him, but it seems like, as you can see this graphic here, 22 Ks to 10 walks. You still probably want it a little better, but that's not terrible. That's not, something where you're pushing the panic button. That's a reasonable discrepancy.
Yeah, no, definitely. He's done a lot of good work to improve his strikeout to walk ratio, and credit to him, man. He's looked like a whole different pitcher this year.
All right, leading off for Bonner will be the shortstop, Sergio Hernandez. He was injured for a little while earlier in the season, so I know Coach Steve Barbery and the Friars are happy to have him back. He's been someone that has been, I would say, a starter a little bit in the past, but he's been with the varsity program. I remember he was, I think, pinch running when they were in the state semis with Kevin McGonigal's senior year. So he's been, up on varsity for long enough, and now these next 2 years should be good for him. But let's get started here. Adam Schreiber with the first pitch. That one's fouled back.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. We have two pitchers that throw very hard coming into this, and I would be a little concerned about sitting where most of the crowd is sitting.
I'll tell you what, the wind blowing out today, I wouldn't be surprised if we see. I'm going to set the over under 1.5 homers. I think someone leaves the yard.
I like the under. I like one bomb.
Swing and a miss from Hernandez in the dirt. I think one's fair. I think last year when these two played, Harry Carr hit 2 homers, and Michael Coleman went 4 for 5. He also hit one as well.
Does someone have like a party bus out in left field?
Looks like we might have a party bus out in left field.
Oh boy.
Schreiber had nothing to 2. He comes at Hernandez. That one's up and in. Brennan Ricciardi alongside Ben Thorpe. David Chapansky will join us as soon as he can get down the blue route. I think he said today was their final project. He should be able to, if we have any more Tuesday and Thursday games.
I think I see is that not his truck pulling in?
Hernandez punches that one right over to the second baseman, Jack Coleman, for out number 1. Got another Coleman up here is Michael Coleman, the Gettysburg recruit. He's one of the best players in Delco this year. He's hitting .429. He's got a homer. He's got Ben out of his 18 hits. He's got 8 doubles. Big extra base hit guy.
It's a sneaky good year. I feel like we've talked about a few other hitters. Named like Till, Jaden Rivera from the Haverford School. He's right up there with him.
Got an 1147 OPS as he smacks that one over to Brennan Till. That one's going to hit off the heel of his glove. Ball's hit hard, but it's probably going to go down in the books as an error. I think he'll tell you should have at least kept that one in front. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. It's it's probably in the book an error, but
I think the error probably comes from you want to keep it in front there.
Yeah,
but it was a tough one either way. Yeah. All right, batting third, we got the right fielder, a somehow still uncommitted right fielder, Ryan Friel.
Coaches take note.
Friel's got a 1039 OPS to go along with a 419 average. He's got a homer. He's got 2 doubles. Mostly been a singles guy this year. Also has a triple. Standing from the left side of the plate with Michael Coleman on first. Schreiber throws back. Nothing doing there. Owen Lockhart waits on deck. He's probably been the Friars' overall best hitter. He's got 3 homers on the year.
Definitely a good power threat for them.
Only a sophomore, too.
Yeah, this was a guy, I think, talking to Coach DeBar last year. He was really excited about getting out and getting in the lineup. He got some playing time last year, but
so many seniors on that.
Yeah, it was tough to get everyone in. But now he's getting regular time and doing the most he can with it.
Got a fantastic crowd on here as Coleman takes that one a little down.
Yeah, this is easily our biggest.
This is our biggest crowd so far.
This is
a good one was Interboro and Chichester. A lot of Interboro fans. I think Haverford Radnor would have had more if it wasn't so cold in that game.
That Haverford one probably was up there just because everyone was so spread out. Yeah. But I think this. I mean, we are pretty full down both lines.
We got a very, very very good crowd here. Glad you could join us if you are viewing on YouTube. Michael Coleman leads off first. Ryan Friel, the batter. And Coleman's going to take off, and Friel fouls that one back. Not sure if it was a hit and run or if he just decided to go for it. Once again, if you're just joining us, apologies for the chippiness in the video. It's O'Hara's service. For once, not something that's not our fault. There's a lot of stuff that's our fault. This one is not. Hopefully you can still hear us regardless. Good battle between Adam Schreiber and Ryan Friel going on here. Friel takes that one low away. I saw Friel at the Conshohocken Wawa. He lives over in, I think, Roxborough. So it wasn't too far away there. So that was funny. It was kind of like one of those, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? I live here. I live there,
I wonder what his feelings are about like Dallas Andrews over there. It's the hometown place for him. Yeah. It could be.
I want to try. I don't know if this is something that you hang me for, but I have not tried Angelo's before.
I have not either.
All right, all right. So it's a pain to get to.
It is a pain in the
it's
ass.
a long-
You have to wait an
you have
hour
to
and a
wait,
half for your food.
yeah. A day like this where you have plenty of time to kill.
Yeah.
Field ground is that one over. That's going to be Brennan Till with a fantastic play up
What
the
a
middle
play.
to fire over to second for the fielder's choice. I thought that was up the middle.
Wow.
He stole that one, and I'll tell you what. If you want to make up for an error on the play
Yeah,
before,
sure.
that was a fantastic play.
That's a hit. And
Yeah,
potentially
that was a
for runners
fantastic
on
play.
first and third for almost any other shortstop in the county. But that was
Another lefty coming up here for Bonner will be Owen Lockhart, the center fielder. Lockhart getting 343 on the year. He's got 3 homers, 2 triples, and a double, so an extra hit machine. He fouls that one back on the first pitch. Ben, that's an OPS of 1195 on the year so far. It seems like we could have a couple All-Delco, first-team All-Delcos at that. In this game, Michael Coleman, Brennan Till. At this point, it seems like pitching-wise, maybe not. But, Jack Quinn and Johnny Ortega have both been having good years. And we'll see. Today could be a big deal as that one's grounded over to Till. It's short. He's going to fire that one to first. And it'll be a scoreless top of the first inning for Adam Schreiber. Head to the bottom of the first here at O'Hara. We're still scoreless.
Yeah, no, I haven't been to Angelo's before. It just has not.
You got to plan it.
That's like a day trip.
Yeah, you got
to
plan
do that. And it's just
You got to plan to be doing other stuff in Philly, on the day.
Yeah, and I think the issue is for that is if I'm gonna do a day trip into Philly, I'm gonna go to a Phillies game. I'm gonna do I'm not gonna sit and wait for a cheesesteak, as good as that may be.
All right, starting lineup here for O'Hara, leading off the shortstop Brennan Till, batting second is the second baseman Jack Coleman. Jack Quinn, the center fielder, will bat third. Jason Corey, the first baseman, bats fourth. Batting fifth, a lead member of the bench mob, who's risen all the way to fifth in the lineup, is Jay Camposano. Batting sixth, the left fielder is Sean Vaughn. Batting eighth, batting seventh, the designated hitter who homered in our last game of the week is Jake Steigerwalt. Batting eighth is the right fielder, Sean McGillivary, and Thomas Flynn, who's been tearing it up from the 9-hole this year, will be your catcher. Ben, you're giving me a face. You see something different there?
No, I am looking at how to spell Adam Schreiber's last name.
That's a very good point. It's S-C-H.
Thank you.
Johnny Ortega will be the pitcher today with the unfortunate news of Limestone in South Carolina closing. Johnny Ortega will be forced to find a new college home. That's where he and Malvern Prep alum Cole Kirshner will be playing their college baseball, but they'll both have to find some other options here. It's been a tough road for Ortega. He was originally committed to St. Joe's, decommitted, committed to Limestone. Limestone, of course, closed. So now what's next for Ortega? Well, we'll find out. And I'll tell you what, somebody's getting a really good pitcher.
Absolutely. And that's going to be interesting to see what his route looks like, just given, when the unfortunate timing of when everything happened. But, someone's going to get an absolute gem with him.
Ortega on the year has been fantastic. Sitting at a 1.77 ERA, despite what the graphics said. I think I had him mixed up with Klowanski. 23.2 innings pitched. He leads the team in that category. He didn't start last week in their game against Devon Prep, but he threw 5 shutout innings of relief, which seems like maybe earned him this start.
Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah. They seem to be kind of flip-flopping. Him and Jack Redding seem to be getting.
And even Danny Buckton, too.
Yeah.
With the unfortunate injury to Corey Sheridan, the Rutgers recruit. We haven't seen him pitch yet this year. The first pitch to Brennan Till. We know he's aggressive. He shoots that one foul down the left field.
Yeah, I would say they've done a really good job of managing. And a lot of credit just goes to the performances from the Bonner pitchers. Absolutely. But I think they've done a really good job of managing and working through that. Hasn't really been a game for them when you look at the pitching and be like, they let them down.
Yeah, absolutely. I think at this point, I wouldn't be optimistic that Corey Sheridan's returning. I don't know. I know as a senior, you're going to do everything you can as Till takes that one low to get back on the field. But at the same time, you have to think about your future and the fact that you're going to play Division I baseball. So it's definitely a tough for him, especially when he had to sit out of the state playoffs due to the transfer rules last year. I know this one stings.
It can be a really hard.
Till grounds that one over to shortstop Sergio Hernandez. Good hustle, but he's out at first. Close play there.
Just gone by a step. But yeah, it can be really hard to it can be a really hard and it's a very mature decision to prioritize your health, and sometimes it's just what you have to do.
It's unfortunate we've seen a couple of aces in the area. Luke Dancona for Strathaven. The Boston College recruit's been banged up, so we haven't got to see him pitch since their Marple game a couple weeks ago. As Jack Coleman, the second baseman, steps in. Coleman hitting .361 on the year. He takes that one low. He's got 3 doubles on the year. He's driven in 4 runs. Sitting with a nice .896 OPS.
Yeah, definitely a good year out of him.
He shoots that one right to the center fielder.
Ooh, hello.
Owen Lockhart makes a jumping catch. You don't
Yeah.
see too many of the jumping catches out there.
A little wind blowing out. I feel like the ball carries pretty well here most days, so that'll sneak up on you.
All right, Jack Quinn will be the third hitter of the day. He's your center fielder for O'Hara. Got a .935 OPS. He's hitting .421 on the year. Seems like a good candidate to be one of our all Delco two-way players that we added into the mix last year.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
To be honest, I thought as he swings at that one on the first pitch and for strike one, I thought he was going to start this game. I think maybe at this point, with the way Adam Schreiber's been pitching, he usually only goes maybe 4 innings. So I think they wanted to have Schreiber get those first 4 innings, and they want Jack Quinn for the final 3.
Yeah, I feel very confident we see both of those guys today in
Quinn takes that
some
one low.
combination.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I think there's a good chance, especially because O'Hara didn't have any other PCL games this week. So they kind of are just able to throw everything they got in this one.
kind
That's it.
of a tough week for them though. And then they took a loss to was it Sterling?
Yeah,
or
it's
something
hard. We don't really know much about them. It's hard to compare. You know,
They are. So I looked up. They're 10-1. They're from
Okay.
Jersey, so it looked like they're a pretty good team. And then I forget who they lost to.
They lost to Pope John Paul.
Pope John
yesterday.
Paul. That's
Yeah,
also
so 3
good.
games in
Good
4
squad.
days there. I think it seems like on Monday in that Sterling game, they kind of went a little Johnny Holstaff, get everybody an inning or 2 of work to prepare for this game. We've got a 1-2 count here on Jack Quinn. And the pitch to Quinn, he fouls that one back. Jack Quinn, the player of the game in our game of the week when O'Hara took down Carroll earlier in the year. Not only did he have 10 strikeouts on the mound, he drove in 4 runs at the plate. That'll certainly play.
Yeah, that's
Looked like Brendan
gonna
Tittle was
work.
going to win that player of the game, but his cousin stole it from him with that second RBI single or 2 RBI single.
that's how it should be.
Quinn fouls out and
That's how
back.
it should be.
We had no idea they were cousins until the post-game interview.
Yeah, that was a.
Great revelation.
He kind of just
So,
dropped that in the middle of the interview.
Shout out
pretty
Brendan
casual.
Hill for commenting that our rope hats are fire. I agree.
Oh,
Go
yeah,
on to
much appreciated.
DelcoBaseballNow.com to get yours today. The pitch here to Quinn. Grounds that one over to the second baseman. That'll be Joey Graziani for the third out. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Johnny Ortega. We'll head to the top of the second. We are still scoreless here at O'Hara. All right, Ben, back on the air here. Real question is, we know that our guy Dave Shapansky has a question of the week. Our question of the week is, what do you think his question of the week will be?
Oh, did he tweet it out? Yeah, I
don't
didn't
think he
read
did.
it.
Usually he does.
Oh, what is this question? It's usually
It's
food
usually
related.
food. I think we've had wings, we've had ice cream, we've had pizza toppings. We've had more games of the week. I don't know if he did it for the first. Actually, no, he did do it for the first one because it was wings with Coach Jordan and Coach Feely.
Yeah. Ooh. What do you think his question's gonna be? I'm trying to think of like a good food to be.
I think he might have done. He asked me at one point on the air what my favorite Delco cheesesteak place was.
It could be that. I was gonna say maybe a cheesesteak
Yeah.
spot might be a.
Definitely a good possibility. I think of what some other. Do you think he could go like non-food? Like, what's your favorite like movie or TV show?
He could do that too. It's.
TV show for me is How I Met Your Mother. Movie, I'd say Miracle on Ice. That
That's a
always
good
gets me
one.
fired up. We'll go with that for the sports world, and maybe a little older with Ferris Bueller's Day Off for
It's a good one.
for non-sports movies. I'm not a big movie guy. I like watching TV show.
Yeah, I don't really watch too much of either anymore. But
I'm watching that show You right now.
Oh
That
yeah,
one,
that's
the 5th and final season. It's a little creepy, but it's I think it's a good
Okay,
balance.
that got a little weird towards the end.
Yeah,
man.
it's kind of weird.
I don't think I've watched.
I
it in a
wouldn't
few.
exactly recommend it per se, but just know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
All right, we're back here for the top of the second. Brendan Ricciardi alongside Ben Thorpe. Cole Romano, the catcher, will be the 5-hitter today. We got a 0-0 ball game. I got to update the little scoreboard here.
Oh.
That one's.
It was
upstairs.
It was water ice flavor.
It was water ice flavor. Oh,
yeah.
mango. I'm going mango.
That was Coach D-Bar.
Coach D-Bar's a mango guy. I wonder what Coach Benedict was.
Watermelon.
Watermelon.
It's an interesting one.
Oh, it's upstairs.
I'm a big. I mean, it's only really available at Rita's, but Swedish Fish.
Yeah, no, that's my number two. Well, because someone like me who I don't like chocolate.
Yeah.
So you don't really get too many desserts that you like here.
So you've probably gone the water ice route for most of your life.
Upstairs, Romano. Yeah, water ice, gelato. My favorite, as much as I'm a diehard Rita's guy, it's Polish water ice at the boardwalk. I love it. On the Ocean City boardwalk. Yeah, that's my favorite.
I still gotta go Rita's, man. Also, shout out to Vera's in Springfield. That used to be the go-to.
In there for Call Strike. I've not been there yet.
They're kind of right down by like that Wawa, right across from I think like the bank. Great little local spot.
Maybe it's the appeal if you don't get Polish water ice too much.
Yeah. Like on the shore, getting it.
Either way, definitely go.
Yeah, it's good.
Pitch to Cole Romano is popped up. Looks like it's going to be foul out of play. And continues to fill out here at O'Hara. We're up and down.
Yeah, wow.
First and third base line. We got a ton of cars that are in damaged territory in left field.
Someone took the classic Christian Strickland spot back over there by the Red Barn. Yep. I don't know why he parks there all the time, but he does.
Cole Romano takes that one low for ball 4. That'll be a leadoff walk for Cole Romano. Never something you want as a pitcher. Looks like we got a courtesy runner here for Bonner. We'll let you know when we see who emerges from the dugout here. This is
number 4.
Number 4, that'll be Josh Collado, which makes sense because he pinch ran in one of the recent game recaps that we did. I'll bring up Gavin Dorita, who used to play against his brother Dan, I believe, at Media Little League.
Huh.
Dorita, the first baseman here. Throw over to first base. Nothing doing there. Gavin Dorita hitting .250 on the year. Got that OPS at, I believe, 716. Not sure what age he is. I think he might be a junior.
I believe he's a sophomore or junior. I forget exactly.
As we talked about earlier, a lot of new faces in the Bonner lineup this year. They graduated nearly their entire starting offensive lineup last year. They kept Ryan Friel, Michael Coleman, and Jack Redding. They lost 6 starters otherwise.
Sergio Hernandez also got decent amount of time.
He started a lot when Jackson Keogh was hurt.
Yeah. But yeah, lots to fill in.
Pitcher Dorita is skied in the air to left field. It's going to be tailing down the line. It'll be playable and caught. Nice play out there in left field by
Sean Vaughn, I believe, right?
It is Sean Vaughn. That's correct.
That's tough, tailing down towards the line. Nice little play over there. But to your point, I think Bonner's done a pretty good job of replacing those guys. I mean, obviously, when you graduate as many seniors that are going to play college baseball as they did, it's going to be tough to get back immediately. But I think these guys have slowly kind of settled in.
Yeah, I don't think anybody expected them to be, like top of the league. Looks like we got Jack Redding squaring a bunt. That one's a bit low. I don't think anyone expected them to be kind of the caliber they were. I mean, their best year of that era was 2022, when it was Kevin McGonigal's junior year, and you had Kevin Henrik and
that was very good.
I think they went undefeated in the PCL. They lost in the state semis. But it feels like this is kind of the beginning of a new core, like that year, that kind of 2021 to 2023 stretch, even after McGonigal graduated, 2024 was still kind of a part of that core.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It was definitely.
Jack Redding takes that one a bit down. This feels like it's just kind of in a way, a fresh start.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think you've kind of gotten a little bit of a reset.
It's tough for these guys having to move up to 6A this year. They got to go through a gauntlet to get to the state playoffs. Goes over not in time. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's they're in a tough spot where they're most likely going to have to win the PCL to get a state's berth. And We could talk forever about how hard that is to do.
I'll tell you what, a playoff game at this field between these two teams
Oh,
would be
man.
unbelievable. We got Collado takes off, throw over the second. Looks like he is in there.
Ooh.
In there, the stolen bases, courtesy runner, Josh Collado. O'Hara fans don't like it. It was a close play. I think he was safe.
I think he just snuck his hand in. A little pick kind of took took the tag up and back down.
So one out here in the inning for for Jack Redding. A lot of great photographers out here today. Beautiful day to shoot a game. That ball smoke from Jack Redding just fouled down the left field line. Got our very own Shelby Kaufman. Another one of our interns, I believe KT Rafferty, a freshman at Bonner, is also here.
Yeah, I believe that would make sense for him to be here. Definitely a good opportunity to get a few of these, get some good shots here today.
Some good-looking swings from Jack Redding here in this at-bat.
Yeah.
And he hits that one in the center field. Looks like it'll be playable for Jack Quinn. Collado will have to return to second. Nothing doing there for Bonner. Second out of the inning. That'll bring up the second baseman, Joey Graziani. First signed recruit, brother of Elizabethtown.
Yes, sir.
At this point, sophomore.
Sophomore, yeah. Sophomore.
Is he getting any time there?
Not really right now.
They're a good team. So
It's they're a little bit of a veteran roster. But I think they took a couple at bats down in Florida. But since they've gotten back, I think they have a little bit of a set lineup.
First pitch to Graziani appears to be a bit outside.
It's tough for them too. They play so many conference games, so you're kind of running out. You don't really get too many opportunities to play around with the lineup. You kind of got to just run out your same guys. But still some time.
Our view's being obstructed here, but we'll probably go ask these guys to just sit down at the end of the inning.
Ooh.
Throw back to second, nothing doing. Pitcher Graziani took a bit upstairs.
I can just catch enough of the catcher's glove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pitcher to Graziani grounds that one over to Brennan Till at shortstop. Fires to first. Not in time. It's going to be an infield single for Joey Graziani. Put runners on the corners. Good effort by Brennan Till, but it's pretty tough ask to be able to make that throw in the hole like that. Bring up the designated hitter, the 9-hitter, Jack Brown. I think Jack had seen his playing time kind of decrease a little bit once Sergio Hernandez returned.
Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, it's tough, you know.
First pitch is grounded over to the second baseman, Jack Coleman, who'll fire to first. You get Adam Schreiber through a second scoreless inning. We'll head to the bottom of the second here at O'Hara. We're still scoreless.
Oh boy, there you go. That's me. That's me.
Our guy David asked earlier here, is there any parking at O'Hara? I said, there's more than enough parking.
Yeah, I would say it's less so parking as just fields you park your car in
Yeah.
at this point.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. You're just going to have to stick yourself somewhere and walk on down. I assume that means he's here.
No, that was earlier.
Oh.
He asked me that. All right, back here, bottom of the second, Springfield. We got a 0-0 game between Bonner and O'Hara. Jason Corey, the cleanup hitter, will lead off the inning. The 1-2-3 inning for Ortega in the the bottom of the first. It's Corey swinging a miss. That one a bit upstairs. Jason Corey hitting .351 on the year. He's got 7 doubles, driven in 8 runs. Chases that one a bit low.
Nice little off speed there from Ortega.
Yep. 922 OPS for Corey. He's been a big part of this lineup. And I think, we knew who the O'Hara pitchers were going to be going into the year. I don't think we knew some of these guys that have filled in the gaps, like Thomas Flynn. Oh, swinging a miss. Great sequence.
And there it goes in the left.
Field. Great sequence from Johnny Ortega there for strikeout out number 1. That'll bring in Jake Campuzano, who went viral for having an incredible interview with us, where I don't know if he expected to be doing as well as he is. He's only got 16 plate appearances, but he's hitting .364 with an 1198 OPS. I think he's worked himself in to kind of a bigger role lately, coming from that bench mob.
He's graduated as the leader of the bench mob.
Yep. And he really did graduate from the bench mob, it seems. See, because when we asked the bench mob, do you guys even want to play? He deferred. He
was the one to defer, and I think that with his play recently, it kind of confirms that maybe he wants a little bit of game time.
Could potentially see him on the mound as well.
Yeah, and he's been getting a little bit of time.
This guy's out in the air to right field. Ryan Friel looks to be under that one. He'll make the catch for the second out.
Never easy out there with the sun.
No. I remember, actually, Ben, it was the year where, I believe the year I was hurt for Wayne playing you guys in the Delco League Finals, and someone on our team had like an inside the park homer because your right fielder was lost in the sun.
Yeah,
I don't remember who it was that hit it. I remember that scoring like 3 runs.
Yeah, the way this field is set up, you have the sun.
And it gets tougher as it gets later in the day. All right, left fielder Sean Vaughn takes one up and away. Vaughn's hitting .419 on the year and 31 at bats. That'll play. Five up, 5 down so far for Johnny Ortega.
It looks like he's overpowering these guys a little bit.
Oh, it's grounded over to first base. That'll be another 1-2-3 inning for Bonner. We will head to the top of the third here in Springfield. We're still scoreless. As Dave would say here on the Delco Baseball Now YouTube channel. Talking about him like he's dead. As Dave used to say.
Hang up the blazer. Put it in the rafters.
I really hope that we get a Delco team in the district championship again, so we can get back in the real press box.
That'd be awesome.
Our folding table here I stole from my friend in Conchi will suffice. More importantly, it's not cold anymore. I don't.
Yeah, that's a big.
I don't think we're getting any cold games the rest of the year.
Knock on wood, but yeah.
If we get, I consider cold like 40 and less. I don't think we're in late April.
I think we're good. I think we're all right.
Went on a nice walk to Cap's Deli for breakfast.
Really?
Probably about 15 to 20 both ways. Nothing too bad.
Cap's gas.
Yeah,
You ever have? We've been talking about cheesesteaks all day.
only ever had their breakfast.
Dude, they have like Ponchi pasta cheesesteak. It's really good.
Yeah, I'll experiment on that.
It's worth it.
Only done breakfast.
It's worth a look.
Shout out to my girlfriend Annie for putting me on to bacon, egg, and cheese with cream cheese in it breakfast sandwiches.
Interesting.
I was skeptical.
Okay.
I will be honest. I was skeptical, but after I tried it, I'm a believer. If there's too much, it's gross. But if there's just kind of like the way you'd put, kind of like mayo on like a hoagie roll, like,
yeah.
But just enough that it's kind of there.
No, I could see how that works.
My brother's girlfriend, Deanna, said that she will put cream cheese and I think jelly in a bagel, which I'm a little more skeptical of. But, you know, it could
see
work.
it. I could see
It
it.
could work.
Kind of on the same thing of like, you have like your fruit and cheese and some kind of like, I guess it kind of works that way.
I don't know why my audio is not. I think we're back here. All right, back here for the top of the third here in Springfield. We got a scoreless game with Adam Schreiber. Adam Schreiber back to the top of the order. Sergio Hernandez, the batter. Grounded out to second in his first at bat. Sergio punches that one over to the first baseman, Jason Corey. Hustles to the bag. A close play. Good hustle from Hernandez. That'll be the first out of the inning for Adam Schreiber. And I think what we've seen from Schreiber so far is outside of the one walk to Romano, he's just going after guys.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go. Seems like he's got good command of both things, or both pitches. Just got to go attack at that point.
Yeah, I think for him, it was just early on in the season, just wasn't trusting what he had. He was kind of trying to tiptoe around guys. Now he's like, I'm going to go right at you.
Definitely. And it can be a little weird going out facing batters in a competitive game for the first time. So
there's a call strike in there to Gettysburg recruit Michael Coleman, who's been one of the best hitters, not just for the Friars, but in all of Delco so far this year. He fouls that one back.
Really pretty swing from him.
He's got a .457 on base percentage. So even when he's not hitting, he's getting on base. As of right now, if the season ended, he's surefire first team All Delco outfielder. Player of the year certainly still up for grabs. A lot of season left, and of course playoffs, in my opinion, still have some sort of way. It's not the only thing. Coleman takes that one a bit outside. Can't punish some guys if their teams don't make the playoffs, but also sometimes you have to wonder if a guy is playing that well. Like, I know no one can do it themselves, but at least in the District 1, if you're not making the playoffs, that means you're under 500.
Yeah.
Pitch to Coleman's up and away.
I think we definitely consider the full season for most guys. I mean, like, obviously, if you get red hot in the playoffs, but
that's kind of where our clutch player of the year comes in too,
like that's that's probably more of where you're looking at. I mean, to win that honor of player of the year, it's going to be a
Coleman
full
smacks
season
that
effort.
one into center field for a base hit. That's going to roll all the way to the wall. Coleman rounding first, he'll head to second. Looks like he was getting the wave sign. It's probably a good thing that he held up at second.
Yeah, it's a good relay in there.
It's going to be a one-out double for Michael Coleman. And Coleman kind of seems like one of those guys where, he'll occasionally run into a homer, but he has such a line drive swing that he's not really getting under the ball too much, which, of course, not a bad thing. He's just like, when he hits a home run, it's because a line drive went straight up in the air, All right, that'll bring in Ryan Friel. Friel grounded into a fielder's choice on a great play by Brendan Till, his first time up. Roxborough native. Still uncommitted, but would have to think that somebody will scoop him up. Fouls that one back. I see Friel being a very solid D3 player. What about you?
Yeah, I can see that.
I think that's where he lines up for me. One out here in the top of the third. Michael Coleman with a one-out double. Schreiber looks back to second. Friel takes that one outside. Beautiful day here in Springfield. Wind is blowing out. Glad you could join us here on the Delco Baseball Now YouTube channel. Brendan Ricciardi alongside Ben Thorpe. We're hoping to get our guy Dave Shapansky back when the action really picks up here late.
It's kind of been our closer recently.
He really has.
I've taken the early shift, and he's coming.
Funny, Ben, did you know that in every single game of the week we've done this year, the losing team has had exactly one run?
Really?
Yep. I think it was 4-1 Haven Radnor. It was 5-1 Bonner Marple, 8-1 Carroll and O'Hara, 7-1 with the Chichester and Interboro, 4-1 with Haverford Radnor. So if you score exactly one run,
you're in good shape.
You're in bad shape.
Bad shape.
That was smacked foul down the right field line. Both of these teams in our Delco Baseball Now starting 9. Bonner at 3, O'Hara at 6. Of course, the result of this game could have a huge impact on where that goes. I think we can both agree the top 2 of Haverford and Radnor has been a cut above the rest so far this year. Here's the pitch to Free. And a called strike 3 right on the outside corner. Freel not happy with it.
Not
From
like
our
that.
angle, it looked like it's tough to see. We're down the third base line.
I think the question of that was horizontally.
Yeah. So yeah, that's unfortunately we can't really tell from our angle here.
No.
You probably had a better view on the broadcast if it wasn't too chippy.
You might have been able to see a freeze frame of it.
Yeah. All right, that'll bring in center fielder Owen Lockhart. Lockhart takes that one low. It appears as though our video is just legitimately frozen at the moment, so we'll try and get that back up and it disconnected.
Double.
All right, well, bear with us for the radio here. The stream's still going. It's just a black screen. I guess my phone is connected to a portable charger. Maybe it overheated.
Oh, that could be a possibility.
Check it out. That one's in the dirt. It gets over. Michael Coleman will get to third base on the wild pitch. Go check on that video at the end of the inning here. Owen Lockhart, the batter. 2 outs here in the top of the third. Try and get this video up as soon as possible. It's connected to a portable charger, so I hope it didn't die.
Yeah, that would be a. I think overheat might be.
Pitch to Lockhart.
Might be the favorite right now.
Fouls it back. I'll tell you what, he's got an aggressive swing.
Yeah, it's a hack. Makes decent amount of contact though.
Coleman leads off third. Pitch to Owen Lockhart. Swing and a miss. Fires back to third. They got him in a rundown. Fires back to Flynn at third. They're going to run him back to Till, and it hits Michael Coleman in the back of the leg. Overall, great play from the O'Hara defense. Some bad luck there as it hits Michael Coleman in the back of the leg. Looks like they had him, but that's baseball right there.
Yeah, brutal. I think
great throw from Thomas Flynn, though.
Definitely, though, to keep him. He got a little bit too far off the base there. They probably could have run going back towards Flynn. I think they could have run him back a little bit further.
I think in the rundown, you want to have as few throws as possible.
Yeah. But so be it. None of that will matter if the Schreiber can get him here.
That's right. Coleman still leads off third. Owen Lockhart, the batter, 2 outs, top of the third. Still scoreless for now. Here's a pitch from Schreiber. He grounds it over to second base to Jack Coleman, who fumbles it into the outfield, fires over to first, and he's safe. That's an error for Jack Coleman, and Bonner will strike first here. I'm going to go real quickly, run over and check the
yeah, go for it. Any luck? Oh, sweet.
All right, we should be back up here. My phone overheated, so that's it's unfortunate. But we got a wild pitch in the dirt here. That'll put runners on second and third. That was a drop third strike that just occurred right there, right?
Yep. Drop third strike that got out to basically the pitcher.
Bizarre.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
All right, well, either way, we got Owen Lockhart at third base, Cole Romano at second. That'll bring it Gavin Dorita. I guess that'll be Josh Collado, the pinch runner. That'll be over there at second. And ball's punched into left field, a base hit. Scoring easily is Lockhart. Rounding second, heading to third is Collado. And it's 3-0 Friars.
That is and those mistakes will kill you.
It's 3 unearned runs for Adam Schreiber. They would have been out of that inning if it wasn't for the error at second base there. You know, Jack Coleman has to be frustrated with himself right there. Either way, we got a 3-0 Bonner lead. That'll bring in Jack Redding. Redding flew out to center his first time up. Takes that one. Not sure where that would miss, but that'll be ball one. We got a timeout here called by your guy Lenny, I believe.
That is Lenny.
For O'Hara.
Yeah, I think it's a good time to go out, talk to him. I mean, it's been a very frustrating sequence, especially from as a pitcher. Could have been out on that little pick play, the third. Should have been out on a strikeout. Should have been out on the ground ball, and then you give up the 2-run single, and you're down 3-0. That's tough.
Yeah, it's out of your control. You know, all you can do as a coach, I imagine, is go out there and say, "Hey, you're doing everything right. You know, we're going to pick you up, and we're going to, get this right."
Yeah, that's really all you can do. You know, go out, calm him down, let him take a breath, and just get in and hit.
All right, Jack Redding looking to continue making O'Hara pay. That one looks a bit down.
Oh.
That one gets away. Gavin Dorita will head over to second base. Base hit here can make this a 4-0 Bonner lead.
That would be that'd be tough to come back on.
Gut punch.
Yeah.
It's not exactly like O'Hara's been having great at bats.
No,
they
haven't looked very comfortable against Ortega to start.
That one's in there for a called strike.
Coming in and finding yourself down 4-0 early would be tough.
Joey Graziani, the batter here, he's on deck. Singled his first time up. Jack Redding working this count. Interesting stance that Jack Redding has. You can see the foot almost like a little open there.
Yeah, it's a
That ball smoked up the middle of base hit. Scoring easily is Gavin Dorita. Jack Redding will stay at first, and it's 4-0 Bonner. All right, Joey Graziani, the batter here. Bonner lineup showing its depth right now with 2 big hits by their 6 and 7 hitters. We'll see if Joey Graziani can add another one. Swing and a miss on the first pitch.
Yeah, I mean, we're at the 8 hitter. It's just still a college commit. Not a lot of teams that can say that.
Jack Redding leads off first. That's up and in. Now, I think there's probably some people out there that might have disagreed that we've had Bonner so high in the power rankings so far this year. It's because I don't think they've played their best baseball yet.
I would agree, yeah.
I think they were missing Mike Lewanski for a while. They're missing Sergio Hernandez. They were missing Corey Sheridan. Obviously hasn't pitched yet. But I think we're seeing the depth here, of what this lineup is able to do.
Absolutely.
Joey Graziani is in the dirt.
A little bit of bullpen action here. Number 37.
Look up who that is here. It's like 37 is Mike Brown, the sister of one of our interns, Renee Brown, or the brother, I should say, of one of our interns, Renee Brown.
The sister.
Who does our score graphics. Great job. Swing and a miss. That ball is fired over to second, and Jack Redding will be caught stealing. Great job by Thomas Flynn. Just an unfortunate inning for O'Hara. They had an error that would have ended the inning. They had a drop third strike that would have ended the inning. They had a rundown at third that should have ended the inning.
Yeah.
Instead, after all of that, we'll head to the bottom of the third as Bonner leads at 4-0. Just one of those things that it feels like in a rivalry when things have not gone your way the last few years, like stuff like this happens.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't get the bounces, you don't get the breaks, you don't get, things don't happen that I guess you think that you deserve or whatever.
Yeah, I would say more so like because that's not like it was. I think it's more so in a rivalry where things have not been going our way. Like that's the stuff that can't happen. I think it's more of like
self-inflicted.
Yeah, like it's not like a ball hit a rock and bounce.
Drop third strike is bad.
That's that's a tough one. But you also probably should have had it. You had a guy in a rundown. You should have had the routine ground ball. Those are just kind of the things that can happen. It's not the game over. I mean, you have 5 at bats here to get this back.
We're gonna have to figure out this Wi-Fi situation by the time Delco League playoffs roll.
Yeah. Ideally, we're gonna be here a lot.
Yeah.
Feel confident in that.
Is that 4 straight years in the finals? 2-2, I believe.
Yeah, 4 straight.
2 banners, one down the right field line here, one down the left field line for the Upper Darby Blue Sox.
Yes, sir.
I consider myself maybe like a 1.5-time champ.
That's fair. Yeah.
Because, according to the law, I got 3, but I didn't play at all during 2022, and I was a bench warmer in 2023. So, 2021 I earned. I'll take that. We're back here for the bottom of the third here in Springfield. We got Jake Steigerwald at the DH with his first at bat. Bears gone 6 up, 6 down. They could use a little spark now with Bonner leading 4-0. All 4 unearned runs for Adam Schreiber. That one's punched over to first base. It'll be handled easily by Dorita and flipped to Ortega for out number 1.
Yeah, he's looked fantastic to start the day.
Just a lot of uncomfortable at bats.
Yeah, definitely.
We're at the right fielder, Sean McGillivray. Mike Brown warming up in the pen for O'Hara. I was in there for a called strike. There's our guy, Dave. He ditched the blazer. Oh.
How we doing?
What's going on? Ortega steps off. He's retired 7 straight to get the game rolling. 4 of those being ground outs, so he's keeping the ball down.
I mean, kind of a key for today, especially when the wind's blowing out.
I was in there for a called strike.
Whenever you're ready.
McGillivray fights that one into right field. That'd be a base hit.
Sure. Well, thanks, Ben. As always, thanks for filling in. This is a nice, very nice facility.
This is the best press box we've gotten all year.
We have a net that protects us.
Yep.
How is everybody? David Chmansky, Brendan Ricciardi.
Welcome in.
Brendan, you got the nice scorecard. That's the long version. I like that.
I got
That's
it.
nice.
It's a large scorebook, but it's the only one they had and it plays. But I'll fill you in a little bit. Bonner has scored 4 runs in the last inning. O'Hara should have been out at the inning. They had an error. They had a guy run down that the ball hit him. It was a drop third strike that they didn't get the out at first. A lot going on there.
I was watching on the way over, so I heard a little bit.
It's a very chippy video feed because the internet here sucks. That's for the first time all year. It's not our fault. Whatever problem we're having is not self-inflicted.
There's a lot of people here.
Oh, it's
packed.
Most packed. This is probably, if I had to put.
Flynn hits one. It's caught by Ortega, and he is going to double up at first. McGillivray. So that will do it for the third. I apologize. Led to the 4th 4-0 lead for Bonner. What a play to get started for today.
Absolutely. I would say my choice. I would say these are the 2 schools in Delco that dislike each other the most. I think that's probably the best way I could put it. I think in terms of rivalry, O'Hara hasn't beat Bonner in baseball since 2018. It's been a little one-sided, but in terms of schools, This is definitely as big of a rivalry as you can ask for.
Yeah, some nice uniforms once again on display as well. Like O'Hara's, little different with the blue, the maroon number. Usually, might be a little bit of an opposite.
Yeah.
But very nice.
You have your microphones.
I do.
My phone is getting ready to die here, so we're gonna flip the mics real quick. We'll be right back on. I'm gonna send an email. All right, should be all good.
All right, welcome back here. Action top of the fourth, 4-0 lead for Bonner. O'Hara going back to work. Schreiber on the mound for O'Hara. First pitch here to Grisani is sit on the ground over to shortstop. Till is up with it. He'll make the throw across the diamond just in time to beat the speedy Grisani. And there's one out here in the fourth. Jack Brown coming up now for Bonner.
Brendan Till's been busy over there at short. He's been getting peppered with ground balls. After missing the first one of the day, he's really bounced back and been able to, kind of make up for those.
So far, Schreiber has not been helped out by his defense behind him. 3 errors. First pitch here is outside to Jack Brown. It's 1-0.
No, and he's been really good. And, it's unfortunate for him that,
Here's the next pitch from Schreiber, and this one is right down Broadway, and it's 3-1. Called strike.
Jack Brown's done a good job this year stepping in when Hernandez was hurt, good enough to earn himself the right to DH.
And the 3-1 is upstairs, ball 4. So great at bat there with one out here in the fourth for Jack Brown. He's aboard, and Sergio Hernandez is coming up looking to extend Bonner's 4-0 lead. Top of the lineup for Hernandez, who's hitting .400, has played in 8 games, said earlier missed a few games due to injury, has 33 plate appearances, 12 hits, 8 RBIs. Also a couple triples for Hernandez at the top of the order. The shortstop for Bonner stands in from the right side, facing Schreiber. Big lead over there at first. This one's hit on the ground over to short. Till again on a high hop. Makes a throw to second for one. They return throw over to first, but another excellent play from Brendan Till at shortstop. There are 2 outs here in the fourth.
I could see him mouthing to the third baseman Campazano. Did you see that hop? I think it's fair. Yeah, I mean, the dirt looks great here, but that grass, there's a big lip, which usually you only see around like third base. There's a lip over there at shortstop that made that thing just.
Well, retired fielder's choice there. So Brown is out at second. Hernandez over there at first with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th for Bonner. That will bring up Michael Coleman. Coleman has been such an integral piece to this lineup for Bonner, hitting .429. We'll see if Hernandez goes. First pitch here is upstairs, and it's 1-0. Two outs here in the top of the 4th. Again, if you're just joining us, Bonner leading O'Hara 4-0 here on this beautiful day for baseball Thursday. Pickoff attempt over there at first, and without a slide, just walking in safely as Hernandez. It's 1-0 to Coleman.
I think this might be the best weather we've had. At the last Bonner game, it's honestly a little too hot. This breeze feels fantastic. Maybe it's just Bonner games bring good weather.
We might have to start doing a lot of Bonner
Yep,
games.
yep.
Become the Bonner Sports Network. Pitching from the stretch here is Grisani. I'm sorry, Schreiber. And eventually Schreiber will step off. Coleman at the plate for Bonner. 1 ball, no strikes to count.
This might be the biggest, just in terms of pure size, pitching matchup we've had this year.
1-0 is a
Schreiber,
strike.
Johnny Ortega. Just a big boy.
Unless you want to count like Dancona and Kellis.
That's I guess that wasn't the starting pitching. I'm talking
Kellis
just
is pretty
pure
large, yeah.
mass. You know, Dancona was a little skinny.
1 ball and 1 strike to count. Lead over there at first for Hernandez. The 1-1 home. There goes her swing and a miss. Throw down to second is a good one, and it is in time. And Hernandez is thrown out trying to steal second. Great throw from behind the plate there from Flynn. And O'Hara looking to pick up some momentum from that throw out at second base. Caught stealing. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th. 4-0 lead for Bonner here on Delco Baseball Now's YouTube channel.
This might be one of those games where you're taking the audio from the recordings, not the video. Next week, we're still undecided. At the moment, we are leaning to go technically 2 teams right out of Delco. Conestoga and Lower Merion have both been playing fantastic. Either been on a game of the week yet, so that'll be next Wednesday, so you wouldn't have to rush over most likely. It's 9-8 start. Johnny Ortega's gone 9 up, 9 down so far. Really, the hitters they haven't even looked comfortable in the box against him.
Yeah, and O'Hara, they've had a couple back-to-back games, of course, losses in non-conference play. They've really played well 5-1 in PCL play, but we'll see how their offense can adjust. Of course, talking with Coach Benedict the other day, really kind of stressed. It was kind of funny. You know, they're trying to get rid of the noise, of course, offensively, kind of simplify things, but talking about hitting with him was really just fantastic. I mean, he's been a hitting coach for 3 decades. And, of course, head coach as well. First pitch here is low.
He's probably one of the best hitters that he's ever had as well.
Yeah, Brendan Till hitting .474 this season for O'Hara, trying to get O'Hara's second hit of the game. It says 1 hit on the scoreboard, but I'm going to trust Brendan. No hits.
They haven't had a base run.
The 1-0 is hit in the air out to center field. Lockhart is heading back. The wind's blowing this one. It's over his head. Great swing there from Till. He's headed for second. He wants 3. The relay throw from Hernandez is not in time. It gets away. And that should mean that advancing home is Till, and it is. Little League home run, Brendan Till. And O'Hara is on the board. It's a 4-1 ball game.
Tell you what, that's why we have the screen up in front of us here for plays like that. But yeah, I mean, right on cue, we were talking about how we didn't have any base runners yet. He's one of the best hitters on the team, and that's when you're a senior leader and the best player, that's what you got to do when your offense is struggling. Just take matters into your own hands.
That's a great swing. I mean, maybe he got under that just a tad, but I thought there was a chance that ball was going to leave. 375 out there towards straightaway center. That was more in left center. The fence angles out a little bit, but O'Hara is on the board, and here's Jack Coleman. Great way to start the 4th for the Lions. This one is outside, and it's 1-0. And, we talked about it a couple weeks ago as well when we had the privilege of doing the Haverford-Radnor game. Sometimes it just takes, one big hit to really get the momentum, get the lineup moving, and build some energy. The 1-0 pitch is hit in the air, out to short. Hernandez and Grisani almost collide, and this one falls in between the two into center field, and it's a base hit for Jack Coleman. Back-to-back hits for the Lions, and Cardinal O'Hara is in business here in the fourth, 4-1 ball game.
Yeah, smart decision there by Graziani not to throw that ball. I think you kind of have to have that internal clock to say, hey, like, there's no way I'm getting this guy, at first base. Don't try and fire it over there and risk throwing it away again.
The ball was not hit all that hard, but a seeing eye single gets just enough to the outfield grass. And here's Jack Quinn, steps up to the plate. Quinn, an ERA of below 2.5, but also really swinging at the plate. 421 average this season and 38 at bats. Again, glad you could join us here on Delco Baseball Now's YouTube channel. David Shapansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you here. No one out here in the bottom of the fourth. This pitch is low. Good block behind the plate there from Romano, and it's 1-0. Over there at first is Jack Coleman. He singled. Brendan Till, probably the star of this O'Hara team, especially offensively, led off the inning with a triple, then eventually scored on an error. 1 ball, no strikes to count. The 1-0 home is thought it was a little high, and said it's called a strike. It's 1-1.
These 8-year-olds almost got smoked by that throw into the third, too.
Johnny Ortega on the mound for Bonner. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Ortega comes set from the stretch. This pitch is hit in the air also well out to center field. Lockhart has a beat on it. He'll put it away fairly deep in center field for the first out here in the fourth. And Jason Corey is coming up.
That's 3 good swings in a row. After a round of really not great swings on all front.
Here's Corey, the senior, a 351 hitter, 8 RBIs, 7 doubles. 7 of his 8 hits this season have been doubles. Sorry, 7 of his 13 hits this season have been doubles. 1 out. Runner over there at first is Coleman. First pitch here to the cleanup hitter is low. Another great block by Romano. That's Cole Romano behind the plate. Ortega struggling a little bit with his command here in the fourth.
Yeah, I think you said it before the inning. I think, you see that triple happen, back-to-back hit, and then kind of it just shakes you off your rhythm. He was not seeing any type of adversity until this.
1 ball, no strikes to count. Ortega comes set. His pitch home for Bonner is hit on the ground hard up the middle. To his right is Grisani. Throw to second is in time. Throw back to first is also in time. 4-6-3 double play. Turned nicely there by Bonner. And the Friars will get out of the fourth, giving up just 1 run. 1 run on 2 hits. No one left. We'll head to the fifth here. Cardinal O'Hara. It's a 4-1 lead for the Friars. So good job there by Ortega to bounce back after the home run and the single. And, talking a little bit about Bonner's starting rotation and their pitching, they've had a lot of injuries this year. You can kind of just go up and down the list. Redding has had a little bit of an injury in terms of pitching-wise. And also, of course, Danny Buckton, who threw that gem, having a little bit of some back issues. So some injuries in the rotation for Bonner. But so far, Ortega threw 4 innings. And besides that good swing there from Till, he's been doing a pretty nice job.
Yeah, he's pounding the zone. Like, anytime that we've watched him over the past couple of years, if he's getting beat, it's because he's getting hit, not because he's allowing walks. And I think it's good that the Bonner defense, outside of that, I don't really, that was a tough play over there because any throw into the base, like, anything can happen, but they're making the plays that they should make and allowing him, Ortega's not really the biggest strikeout pitcher. He's more of a ground ball pitcher. And right now their defense is backing it up.
All right, well, we'll get to the broadcast question of the day. Yep, that's what everybody waits for. It's a favorite segment, possibly. It's one of our only segments.
I need more segments.
But this segment, today's question, what is your favorite water ice flavor? This was inspired by our conversation about a week ago.
Yep.
Last game of the week, I think you brought up water ice because you're not an ice cream guy. So we'll go to you, Brendan. Favorite water ice flavor?
It's mango, and I'm sure that's a fan favorite. I think one of the coaches said that.
They did.
I forget which one.
Yeah, Coach DeBarbery.
I'm going with mango. But as Ben mentioned to me earlier, this is another one. Rita specifically, the sweetest fish.
I can't get behind that. I can't. We were actually talking about it last night because Coach DeBarbery is a Rita's guy, but also not a Swedish fish.
Okay.
All right, Ben, what do you think? Water ice flavor?
Swedish fish. That is. That's just my favorite flavor. I can understand people not liking it, but that is the go-to.
There's Michael Coleman takes the first pitch high. It's 1-0. Mango's really good. I would probably have to go with cherry, keeping it simple. A good cherry water ice. If I want to go with cherry, I'll go with mango. The 1-0 was fouled back. It's 1-1.
My problem with Ritas for both cherry and lemon is they put the fruit like skin.
You don't like the fruit?
No, I don't. I don't want
I'm
that
with-
texture. I don't want the cherry skin. I don't want.
They
The
don't put a
lemon
lot,
peels.
though, do they?
Enough that it pisses me off.
But don't they put a lot of Swedish fish in there? Or that's different?
That's candy.
Okay, okay.
That's different. Actually, no, they don't actually put the candy in. They.
The
Oh,
1-1 pitch is hit well.
my God.
Out to center field, Quinn is heading back. So is left fielder Vaughn. This one is gone. Out of here for Michael Coleman. And Coleman will round the bases. Bonner extends their lead 5-1. Adios, baseball. What a swing from Michael Coleman. The Bonner bench is loving it. And Coleman with a home run. I mean, how good has he been this season, Brendan?
the season ends right now. He's easily a first-team All-Delco outfielder, certainly in the running offensive player of the year, along with our O'Hara shortstop, Brendan Till, right here. But, I mean, it's just that oppo power, man. That's incredible. And we were talking about with Ben earlier, so when he hits homer, it's line drives that just carry. And he's not really getting under the ball. He just has a nice level swing.
The scoreboard had to watch out. That one was headed towards the left center field gap. The 1-0 is sit on the ground weakly over to first. Corey will give it a look. It will go out of play. 1-1 to Ryan Friel. Second home run of the season for Michael Coleman, and leads the Bonner team. Entered today with .429 batting average.
It's definitely
going to go up there.
Yeah, double a homer. That's only going up. I believe every player of the game we've had so far this year has been a pitcher, so it'd be nice to add a hitter into that.
The 1-1 is fouled back. 1-2. Good swing there from Friel, trying to stay alive as Schreiber looks to bounce back here for O'Hara. Yeah, Bonner has been interesting. They've struggled in PCL play, an under 500 record coming into this game, but they've won 5 of their last 6. Their pitching has given up 5 or less runs in their last 6 games. The 1-2 is upstairs. It's 2-2. Their offense had a blowout win against Lansdale Catholic, 13-1 in the most recent game prior to this matchup against O'Hara. So they've been playing really good baseball. It's just they've had some injuries, and they didn't get off to the best start this season.
Yeah, I think we haven't seen their best yet. And I think that, unfortunately, it's going to be hard without Corey Sheridan for them to win the PCL in the playoffs. But, I mean, if their offense can come alive, kind of seeing now they're getting a consistent starting 9, a repeatable starting 9, which they weren't getting on earlier in the year.
The 3-2 is out by ball 4. So back-to-back runners have either scored or reached. The home run from Coleman. Friel is aboard over there at first. And now we'll get a mound visit here before Owen Lockhart steps to the plate for the Friars. If you're just joining us, 5-1 lead for Bonner. Bonner 5 runs on 5 hits, no errors. And, of course, starting off this top of the 5th with the home run from Coleman. David Chmansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you here. And it won't just be a mound visit. It's going to be a pitching change for the O'Hara Lions, as Schreiber's going to head out of the game, and we'll have a new pitcher coming in for Cardinal O'Hara. And that new pitcher,
I think Adam
in a second,
deserved better today. Defense kind of struggled a little bit. Dropped third strike, error at second. The rundown that they weren't able to convert. Anytime you have 4 unearned runs, it's a tough pill to swallow. I think he pitched pretty well overall.
Michael Brown is going to be the new pitcher for Cardinal O'Hara. He's going to come into the game. Let's take a look at his pitching stats here on the mound so far this season. In his junior year, 5.25 earned run average. And he has pitched in 4 games this year, going 5 1/3, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 5 walks, 3 strikeouts. Has also allowed a home run. Opponents are hitting .304 against him with an on-base percentage of .450.
Seems like a little, if you want to call it almost the opposite of Schreiber. You go from the big, hard-throwing righty to kind of the junk ball lefty. Try and give him a different look here.
We'll see what Brown has to offer.
Especially with a lot of guys in this order, like Friel and Coleman.
Well, Owen Lockhart is the scheduled hitter here on Delco Baseball Now's YouTube channel. Give us an opportunity to talk a little bit about the Phils. Do we want to talk about the Phils?
I don't know if we want to.
Feel like it kills some time.
Might kill my spirit.
Yeah, Cubs tomorrow. Thankfully, there's an off day.
Yeah, an off day today is nice. We can watch the only successful Philadelphia franchise cook tonight.
The draft?
Yep.
Yeah, do you think the Eagles trade up? There's been some rumors about them utilized in the offense. Yeah, so we'll see how the tight end were to come in, how that would be. First pitch here is low. Getting reports of no sound. Hopefully everybody can hear us. 1 ball and no strikes to count.
It looks like, it says it's on here.
Well, that's good. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Let's see. Utilized. We're good. All right, 1 ball and no strikes
Your
to
mic
count.
sounds better than mine. We'll keep that in mind.
Here's Owen Lockhart. The 1-0 is in there for a called strike at the knees, and it's now 1-1. Just joining us here, top of the 5th, 5-1 lead for Monsignor Bonner. Home run to lead off the inning from Michael Coleman. Ryan Friel is over there at first with a walk, and now a pitching change as Brown, the lefty, is in front of O'Hara. The 1-1 is a little bit upstairs, and it's 2-1 to Owen Lockhart. The meat of this order for Bonner, Coleman, Friel, and Lockhart, they've done a lot of damage this year, and especially for right-handed pitchers, you have to fear the middle of the order for Bonner. Here's the 2-1 pitch with no one out. This one is in there for a strike. It's 2-2. And glad you could join us. David Shapansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you here on Delco Baseball Now's Game of the Week. Beautiful weather here. Temperatures near 80 degrees. The 2-2 pitch. Just missed, perhaps a little inside. And it's now full count, 3-2. And Cole Romano, the catcher for Bonner, is on deck. So full count opportunity here. Lefty, as Brown faces Lockhart. No one out here in the top of the 5th for Bonner. 3 balls and 2 strikes to count. From the stretch, Brown comes set at the belt. His pitch home is called. Strike 3 at the knees. And Lockhart is retired for the first out here in the 5th. And Romano is coming up for Bonner. But good to start the outing today for Brown.
Yeah, nice location there. You're not going to get beat leaving that one down there.
Michael Brown, 1 batter faced, 1 strikeout. Good job for the O'Hara lefty. First pitch here is lined into left field for a base hit, and Romano is aboard with a single. And that will move Friel up to second. First pitch swinging for Cole Romano. Got a good pitch to hit and lines it hard through the gap on the left side. Gavin Dorita, now the hitter for Bonner. So 1 out here in the 5th. Runners at first and second, 5-1 lead for Coach DeBarbary's Bonner squad. We haven't had a coach yet come on twice for our post-game content.
That's correct.
Coach DeBarbary
We'll have
be that coach.
We'll have that no matter what,
That is a good point.
Because we had
That's
Coach
right.
Benedict at the
Yes,
game,
you
couldn't
did.
Make it to.
And the bench mob as well.
Yeah.
First pitch from Brown is in there for a called strike. Lefty matchup here with Dorita at the plate. Coach DeBarbary has been impressed with Gavin Dorita. He's been impressed with a lot of his offense, his lineup, which has been really deep. And like I said, they've had some trouble in conference play, but they have taken care of business, especially in non-conference play this season. Runners on first and second with 1 out. The 0-1 pitch to Dorita is in there, drops in for a called strike, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, they got some good non-conference wins. They beat Marple. They beat the Haverford School. I think they play Malvern Prep soon, which should be a really fun game.
Play Holy Ghost.
They do play Holy
coming
Ghost.
up.
Yep.
No balls and 2 strikes to count.
Who are you going to be rooting for? The Firebirds?
I will not say.
You're unbiased reporter.
That is true. No balls and 2 strikes to the count. Brown comes set, and the lefty kicks home. The 0-2 just missed outside. It's 1-2.
Should add the reigning state champion Holy Ghost Firebirds.
You should add the reigning state champion Holy Ghost Prep Firebirds. Done well, made some deep playoff runs the past few years. Finally got the job done last year there in Penn State. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Brown comes set, looking for his second strikeout. The 1-2 is popped up. This one is over our heads. Going to head down the left field line and towards the trees.
Are you guys in a conference for baseball? Because
I don't think so.
I feel like your schedule is just all.
Yeah, it really is all over.
So you just get a spot in states or district? I don't
I
know.
believe, yeah, I'm forgetting the district, but there's not many teams in the district.
It's not District 1, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I think it might have changed, actually. The 1-2 is hit on the ground, over to first, and it's going to get through the hole on the right side. Heading for home is Friel. He will score standing up. Heading for third is Lockhart, and he is out. I'm sorry, Romano was heading for third. He is out.
The courtesy runner.
So Friel will score. The courtesy runner is out at third. Dorita will head over to first. He'll get credited with an RBI, and it's now a 6-1 lead for Bonner. There are now 2 outs. Jack Redding going to come to the plate. Good swing there by Dorita.
Yeah, second single the game for him, too.
But yes, Holy Ghost out of conference. They played, I believe they played St. Augustine Prep the other day from Jersey. So they play a lot of different teams. They get around. and going to play Bonner coming up later this week.
They played the Haverford School a couple days ago. Actually, it might have been yesterday. It was
I
yesterday.
believe it's today. Is yesterday or today? One of the days.
They lost yesterday.
Okay.
The game already happened. I think it
Okay.
was yesterday.
Called strike here to Reading, and it's 0-1. So lefty-righty matchup here. 1 run is credited against Brown. The 0-1 pitch is popped up. Right field side. Running in is McIlvery, and this one's going to drop in for a base hit. It's a fair ball. Heading for third is Dorita. He's going to stop there. It's going to be runners at the corners for Bonner, and Reading is aboard, and it's now back-to-back singles here against Michael Brown, and that will bring up Joey Graziani. Brown giving up some hits here in this inning for Cardinal O'Hara. Coach DeBarby has to be pretty happy with what he's seen so far today from his offense for Bonner. Here's Graziani, who grounded out the short in the 4th, getting a chance to bat here in the 5th.
You're just seeing the depth of this Bonner order. You know, from the 6 and 7 hitters are combined 4 for 6 today. You know, their 8 hitter is playing college baseball. Like you don't have many lines where you can say that.
Fouled back, first pitch here, and it's 0-1 to Graziani. 2 outs here in the 5th. 6-1 lead for Bonner. Runners at the corners. Brown trying to stop damage from getting worse for the Lions.
Kind of where I'm at with Bonner. It's, do I think they're going to win the PCL? No. Do I think they're a lot better than their 4-4 record? Absolutely.
No balls and 1 strike to count. The swing and a miss. Good pitch there from Brown. Kind of fooled Graziani, and it's 0-2. Graziani hitting 161 entering today's game. The senior with 4 RBIs, 5 hits on the season. Brown comes set, looks back the runner over there at first, and the pitch home is low. It gets away from the catcher, Flynn. No movement from the runner at third. Moving up to second is Reading. So now Jack Reading over there at second, Gavin Dorita at third, and Graziani has 2 ducks out there on the pond to try to extend this lead for the Friars.
Yeah, base hit could probably ice this one here, make it 8-1.
David Chapansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you here on Delco Baseball Now's Game of the Week. 6-1 lead for Bonner here in the 5th. Next pitch home is hit on the ground, up the middle, diving stop from Coleman, and his throw is in time. What a call over there at first, and Coach DeBarby is furious, and they're going to call Graziani out at first.
I think he has.
Wow.
I think he has a right to be furious, for being honest.
Well, that's why I kind of hesitated the call there, because I do not think he was out. But regardless, that's the call.
Yeah, I think Coach DeBar has a right to be angry, especially because a run would have came in there as well. I feel like sometimes umps see a sick play of the infield and
Sure.
they
Yeah,
have
diving
that
stop.
trigger,
Yes.
Yeah, they hit that trigger finger.
All right, well, we'll head to the bottom of the 5th with that call. 6-1 lead for Bonner. David Chansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you here. Opportunity to see Johnny Ortega go back to work. And due up this inning for O'Hara is they'll try to mount a comeback. It'll be 5, 6, and 7. Campuzano, Vaughn, and Steigerwalt coming up for O'Hara.
Yeah, they finally got a little movement back in the 4th inning. They had the Little League homer on the triple. They had a base hit, but that double play really just kind of thwarted that momentum, and we'll see if they're able to get it back at all.
Yeah, I think the attack mode right now for O'Hara has to be to kind of see some pitches from Ortega, because he did throw a good amount of balls there in that 4th inning that allowed these O'Hara hitters to get into good counts, that allowed them to hit the ball well. You saw the home run from Till, the single from Coleman, and a couple hard hit balls there as well to round out that inning for O'Hara.
You need to have that mentality that no one person can be the hero right now. You know, you're down by 5 runs. No one's going to hit a 5-run homer.
Well, here is Jason Campuzano. Campuzano, a 364 hitter entering today as an RBI. That RBI came on a home run. O'Hara looking for another long ball here. First pitch here from Ortega is in there for a strike, and it's 0-1.
Reporter Nick Mozzarella, Sun Valley's up 7-1 on Unionville. Sun Valley has not won a game yet this year, so this would be huge.
No balls and 1 strike to count. Ortega comes set. The righty delivers home. This one hit. Campuzano, and heading down to first is Campuzano, and it's a leadoff base runner here in the 5th for O'Hara. And the Lions will definitely take that to try to start a rally here in the 5th. So that will bring up Sean Vaughn, and Vaughn is now coming up to the plate. here in this inning. Vaughn, a junior, hitting .419 this year. 40 plate appearances, 5 RBIs, 13 hits with a runner at first. No one out here in the fifth. O'Hara down by 5. First pitch here to Ortega is hit on the ground through the hole on the right side for a base hit in the right field. Friel will pick it up. Stopping at second is Campazano, and it's now runners on first and second. Great hit there by Vaughn. Kind of saw where the ball was pitched and hit it the other way, and that's something that Coach Benedict has strict all season long. See the ball, hit the ball, and take it the other way, and it's first and second. Here with no one out in the fifth.
I'll tell you what, Campazano almost got picked up.
He did.
Second.
That was very close.
Very close. I'll tell you what, Coach Benedict would not have been happy with that one at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Here is Jack.
Especially down 5.
I'm sorry, here's Jake Steigerwalt. And this is a big opportunity for O'Hara. You don't need to get all 5 runs back, but at least try to get a couple here. Ortega will step off. We'll see if Bonner starts to get some bullpen action here. Not sure how many pitches Ortega has.
I think if you get out of this inning making it a 6-3 game, I think you're in a pretty good spot.
You want to kind of keep it in striking distance. 6-1 lead.
Still got 9 outs to work with.
First pitch here, swung on and foul tip there by Steigerwald, and it's 0-1. So Ortega trying to come back here for Bonner. Friars lead O'Hara 6-1. Here in the bottom of the 5th inning, no balls and 1 strike to count to Jake Steigerwald, who had a home run last game that you guys were here for O'Hara.
No doubt or two, I might add.
No balls and 1 strike to count. Ortega gives a look back to second. Campazano is there. The 0-1 pitch home is fouled back to the cage, and it's 0-2.
Looks like he's trying to do the same thing.
Yeah, Steigerwald looking at least just to put the ball in the outfield here and at least try to advance the runners. No balls and 2 strikes to count to Steigerwald. McGilvery is on deck for O'Hara. No balls and 2 strikes to count. Ortega comes set. Runners on first and second for O'Hara here in the bottom of the 5th. This place is packed, looking for a comeback from their home Lions, and Ortega will now step off and give a look back to Campazano over there at
I'll
second.
tell you what, this might be twice as many people as we've had at a game of the week.
Yeah, they don't take attendance at high school games, so it's
It might
packed.
be 3 times. It's hard to see down the right field line how many people have piled in, but it's perfect weather and big rivalry.
The 0-2 pitch from Ortega is hit on the ground over to third. Redding is up with it. He's going to tag Campazano, who is heading out of the baseline, but that will retire 1 runner here. But heading over to second is Vaughn. There'll be a fielder's choice there for Steigerwald.
Yeah, tough decision there from Redding. You got a couple things you could do. You could have gone to tag third. You could have fired over to second, which is hard with the runner coming at you. I think if you're Coach DeBarbery, just get one. Get the lead runner. You get 1 out. Don't do anything too dumb.
So Campazano is retired. Vaughn is at second. Steigerwald over there at first, and that will bring up Sean McGilvery. Ortega comes set. McGilvery, 86 hitter. First pitch here is popped up in the air to pretty shallow right field. Friel is over. He'll make the catch towards the line. Heading back to second is Vaughn, and he'll be there safely. So no advancement there. Good pitching there from Ortega, and there are 2 outs here in the 5th. Thomas Flynn coming up, who grounded into a double play in his last at-bat in the 3rd.
If Flynn can just find a way on here, you get Till up with 2 outs and 2 on, and he can get 1 in the gap. Obviously, at this point, even with the open base, you're going to be trying to attack Flynn, so he better be ready to swing.
2 outs here in the 5th. Ortega trying to get his way out of damage. First 2 runners reached against him here in the 5th. 6-1 lead for the Friars here on Delco Baseball Now's Game of the Week. Ortega comes set. The righty gives a look back to second, delivers home. And there's a strike on the outside corner. 0-1 to Flynn. Flynn this season, a senior, .333 hitter, has played in 9 games, has 9 hits, 4 doubles. Also has a triple. Has picked up 5 RBIs for the Lions. Would love to make it at least 6. The 0-1 pitch home is hit on the ground weakly. Off the mound is Ortega to his right. He has it, throws to first in time. Score the putout 1-3, and Flynn is retired. And that will do it for O'Hara here in the 5th. They send 5 runners to the plate, but they get no runs on 1 hit. And 2 men left. We'll head to the 6th here at Cardinal O'Hara High School. It is a 6-1 lead for the Bonner Friars. Off the map.
Well, as mentioned, anytime that we've done a game of the week and all the season, the losing team has had exactly 1 run.
Well, we'll see if O'Hara can change that. They still have 6 more outs try to at least pick up more than one run. 9-1-2 coming up here for Bonner, and same pitcher is out there for O'Hara. That's Michael Brown, who's finishing up his warm-up tosses. David Chvansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you here on Delco Baseball Now's YouTube channel. Jack Brown, Sergio Hernandez, and Michael Coleman are the three hitters due up. So Bonner 9-1-2, try to get Jack Brown aboard, who did walk in his last at bat in the fourth, and then try to get things over to the top of the lineup. But a quick assessment here, Michael Brown came in relief in that last inning, gave up a run, but closed things out there for O'Hara.
I'll tell you what, though, funny story here. Mike Brown's sister is one of our interns, Renee. She does our score graphics. So if you're watching, good chance she might even be here somewhere. Thanks for everything.
It's hard to see with the large crowd.
There's a ton of people here as well. So,
well, my question again here is parking. Where did you park, Brendan?
I'm pretty close to the right field foul pole, and that's kind of that stretch.
Okay.
You can kind of see my white car over the hill right there.
Okay.
So I usually do that because I was one of the first ones here. A lot of people just park on the field.
I'm way out there.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
You can be closer next time.
Okay. I didn't want to chance it. Wanted to get here as quick
Yeah,
as possible. So I just parked and walked, but beautiful facility. You know, football field looks like kind of behind home plate. Lots of room, lots of grass here. I mean, they really have enough room to build at least one more field if they really wanted to, don't they?
Yeah. He's got a nice new scoreboard out there in left field. I believe that was at the end of last summer.
Which is important.
Yep.
So 9-1-2 due up for Bonner. 6-1 lead for the Friars. And this is kind of the point of the game where if you're Michael Brown and O'Hara, can't let any more runs score here with 6 more outs to work with.
Now the pressure's already on your offense here. And it's also one of those things where you start to wonder.
First pitch here to Brown is above his head. It's 1-0.
You know, you start to wonder, like, when you're in a rivalry that's been very one-sided, there are times where even on paper you might think or be the better team, but like for some reason you just can't get over that hump, and that's what it feels like at this time for O'Hara.
Here's the 1-0 pitch from Michael Brown, and showing bunt here is Jack Brown. Gets it on the third base line. Campazano is up with it. His throw is wide, and reaching at first is Jack Brown with a bunt single. And great way for your 9-hole hitter who's been on in back-to-back plate appearances, a walk, and then a bunt single here. And Bonner starting off with the leadoff base run. So we'll turn things over to the top of the lineup. Sergio Hernandez going to come up to the plate. Hernandez, a righty, facing the lefty Brown. Brown kicks home. First pitch here to Hernandez is buffed on a line drive to short. Picking it up there is Till. He'll throw to second. And Coleman is there to receive and retire Brown. So it's a fielder's choice. Hernandez will reach over there at first. 1 out.
Big at bat here for our player of the game. Obviously, it could be Johnny Ortega if he goes the distance. We got some work over there in the pen, but Michael Coleman already a double and a homer today, so see what he can do.
Well, here is Michael Coleman, as Brendan said. Had a little league home run, if you will, last time. Now we'll see. I would imagine Coach DeBarberry might give him a home run.
That was a big. That was over the fence.
Oh, that was. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Getting my 2-hole hitters confused.
Yeah.
First pitch here to Coleman is low. It's 1-0. Don't want to discredit because Coleman, that was hit very well. Yeah, that one did go over the fence. Till had the little league homer for O'Hara to get the Lions on the board. 1 ball, no strikes, the count to Coleman. Again, Coleman entered today a .429 hitter, double and a home run, halfway to the cycle. See if he can pick up the single here, perhaps. Next pitch home is low, and I believe it's now 2-0 to Michael Coleman. Runner at first is Hernandez, has speed over there, the shortstop for Bonner.
Got Patrick McManus warming up in the O'Hara bullpen here.
David Chvansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you here. Beautiful day for baseball, light to moderate breeze, temperatures in the high 70s. 6-1 lead for Bonner. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Brown comes set, kicks home, and this one just missed. A little bit low, perhaps outside, and it's now 3-0 to Coleman.
He's got my green light.
Yeah, Brown trying to pitch around Coleman here, but he's such a dangerous hitter. And the last thing you want to do, though, you're in a tough situation. You don't want to give him a hit, but you also don't want to put runners on first and second with 1 out. And the 3-0 pitch home from Brown is low. Ball 4. So Coleman will indeed walk. And it's now runners on first and second for Bonner. And the Friars are threatening again. And Ryan Friel, the right fielder, is coming up, who reached via walk and scored in his last at-bat in the 5th. We are here in the the top of the 6th. David Chvansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you here. Bonner looking for their 9th win of the season. First pitch here from Brown is hit in the air pretty well into center field. Backing up and now running in is Quinn. He'll put it away for the 2nd out of the inning. Thought that ball was hit a little farther than it actually was. Quinn will put it away fairly easily, and there are now 2 outs. And Owen Lockhart, the cleanup hitter, is due up for Bonner.
very rare you see lineups where you have the 2, 3, and 4 hitters, lefties.
Well, Lockhart will complete that trio of lefties here for Bonner. Lockhart struck out looking in his last at bat in the 5th. We're here in the top of the 6th. 5-run lead for Bonner, 6-1. This pitch is high to begin the at-bat. It's 1-0. Runner at first is Michael Coleman. Runner at second is Sergio Hernandez. 6 runs on 8 hits for the Friars. Here's the 1-0 pitch home from Brown. This one is hit well out to right field, but not having to move is McGilvery, and he'll put it away for the final out. That was hit right to the right fielder. Hard hit line drive, though, from Lockhart, but he is retired.
Tell you what, that's a D1 swing from Lockhart. I mean, just a sophomore. He's already got 3 homers. You can tell why Friars are so high on him, and I think that he's got Delco Player of the Year upside across the next 2 years.
Cardinal Howard gets out of that frame of the 6th without giving up a run, and they'll head to the bottom of the 6th again. 6-1 lead for Bonner. We'll see if O'Hara, as I've said a couple times today, can mount a comeback. Got to score at least a couple here. And it looks like Ortega might be coming out here for another inning of work. We'll be right back here on Delco Baseball Now's YouTube channel.
I think it's his to lose right now. Ortega play the game, Okay.
Oh, I stopped. Holmes got a double with a bomb. Dorita has
2 singles, I think.
2 singles, 2 RBIs. That's tough. I don't know.
You can go hitters.
Let's see Ortega from.
Welcome back here to our Game of the Week here on Delco Baseball Now's YouTube channel. David Chapansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you here. 6-1 lead for Monsignor Bonner over Cardinal O'Hara. We are here on site at the Lion home field as we will begin the bottom of the 6th. Top of the lineup, 1, 2, and 3. This is about as good of an opportunity you could get. You have your coach Benedict and the Lions, Brendan Till, Jack Coleman, Jack Quinn coming up. O'Hara, go ahead, Brendan.
If not now, then when, right?
That's a good point. You have to get something here. O'Hara 5-6 overall, 5-1 in conference play. Back-to-back losses for the Lions, trying to snap that skid here. And Brendan Till at the plate. He had the Little League home run.
Correct.
Last time he was at the plate.
Big league triple, Little League home run.
First pitch here from Ortega is in there for a strike on the outside corner. It's 0-1. We'll see if O'Hara begins to get a little bit more selective with the pitches they swing at. Try to work some more counts here against Ortega, who's pitching here into the 6th. Comes set the righty. The 0-1 pitch home is hit in the air out to right field and just moving a step backwards, but hit right to Friel, and he'll put it away for the first out here in the 6th. And Hill is quickly retired on 2 pitches. Jack Coleman will be due up here for the Lions.
Don't try and get in good now, Caramanico. It's already done, man.
Here is Jack Coleman, who's singled in his last at-bat in the 4th, facing Johnny Ortega. 6-1 lead for Bonner. And here's a ball low and outside. It's 1-0 to Coleman. Ortega getting back into a rhythm. He struggled in the 4th, but has tried to find that consistency once again. And he's pitched well over the past couple weeks. Had an injury to begin the season. The 1-0 is upstairs on a fastball. It's 2-0. Jack Coleman, a .361 hitter this season for O'Hara. The 2-0 pitch home is low and outside. It's 3-0. Ortega, a little bit more of a hop and a skip off the mound there. Don't think he was happy with that last one. 3 balls and no strikes to count to Jack Coleman, the second baseman for O'Hara, trying to begin a rally here in the bottom half of the 6th. 6-1 lead for Bonner. Ortega, the righty, comes set at the belt. From the stretch, the 3-0 is in there for a strike. It's 3-1. Coleman taking all the way there as O'Hara looks for base runners. The righty Coleman at the plate. 3 balls and 1 strike to count. Ortega's pitch is in there for a strike. 3-2. Coleman thought it was low. He was heading down to first base, and he's called back by the home plate umpire. And it's now full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes with Jack Quinn on deck.
You better be ready to swing on this full count pitch here, because umps don't like when you toss that ball and start heading to first. 1
run on 4 hits for O'Hara. Trying to get a base runner with 1 out here in the 6th. Ortega comes set for Bonner. His 3-2 pitch home is fouled back. Good swing there to stay alive. This one hit over the head of the spectators there on the first base side. Here at Cardinal O'Hara, the home dugout is on the third base side. The visitors, Monsignor Bonner, over there on the first base side. 3 balls, 2 strikes to count. Johnny Ortega looking for a strikeout. Ortega comes set. The pitch home to Coleman is fouled back again to the cage. Good swing there. Staying alive is Coleman, the second baseman for the Lions. Can the Lions trying to snap this 2-game losing streak? Get a win here. A comeback win it would be against Bonner. 3 balls and 2 strikes to count. Johnny Ortega comes set. And the 3-2 is low and in the dirt. It's ball 4. So Coleman is aboard for back-to-back plate appearances. And Jack Coleman's coming up with a runner on and 1 out here in the 6th.
Jack Coleman, Michael Coleman are related. We know that Jack Quinn and Brendan Till are cousins on O'Hara. Found that out.
We'll see if Quinn can get a base hit here and keep this rally moving for O'Hara. Again, 6-1 lead for Bonner. Quinn at the plate, a junior, a .421 hitter. Ortega comes set. His first pitch home to Quinn is low and outside. It's 1-0. Romano thought about checking on Coleman over there at first, decided not to, kind of pump faked, and it's now 1-0.
Hello. Ben, you want to check game sheet or see how many pitches Johnny's at?
Yeah. 1 ball, no strikes to count here in the 6th. Ortega comes set for Bonner. 6-1 lead for the Friars. This one's low, and it's 2-0.
Looks like they might be pulling him mid at bat here.
Yeah, here comes Coach DeBarbery, and we'll see if he's going to make a change. I didn't see any bullpen action for Bonner unless it's on the opposite side.
Yeah, it's on the opposite side.
Okay. I know that O'Hara's had a couple guys warming up, and
Oh no, that's O'Hara. That's O'Hara's going to change.
DeBarbery is going to head out to the mound here, have a conversation. He looks like he's just kind of kicking the mound, talking with Ortega. Doesn't look like we're going to get a change here, Brendan.
No, not right now. Bonner's got to be one of the only teams in Delco that has a 3 uniform set. They got the home white pinstripes. They got the Kelly green that they'll wear home and road. And they got the black road jerseys.
He's only at 56 pitches.
56 pitches.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like a
lot of early contact.
I like the Lions Den, the sign out there in right center.
Yep.
That's nice.
Well, according to my notes here, he only has 1 strikeout, so that makes sense that he's getting a lot of early, early pitch contact. Yeah.
Dimensions here: 309 to straightaway right, 327 down the left field line, and 375 to center, and the 2-0 is low, and it's now 3-0 to Jack Quinn. So Ortega in danger of walking back-to-back batters, and the cleanup hitter Jason Corey is on deck, and Corey's had 7 doubles this year for Cardinal O'Hara. David Shapansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you here. Our game of the week, 6-1 lead for Bonner. O'Hara trying to keep this line moving. The 3-0 pitch from Ortega is in there for a strike. Gets away from the catcher Romano, and there goes Coleman down to second. He'll be in there standing up, so a runner in scoring position for the Lions. Haven't been able to say that too often today.
I don't know who's next in relief. Could be Jack Redden. Could be Danny Buckton. I would imagine.
I don't think we're going to see Buckton. Yeah, Buckton, I think,
banged up.
Yes. Some back soreness for Buckton.
I would guess Redding, if that's the case then.
3 balls and 1 strike to count.
Bonner got a complete game from Mike Polonsky on Monday, so they saved their arms.
Against Lansdale Catholic. Yep. And the 3-1 pitch home from Ortega is low, ball 4. And Romano will block it to prevent Coleman from heading to third. So it's now runners on first and second, back-to-back walk for the tall right-hander for Bonner. Ortega and Jason Corey now is coming up for Cardinal O'Hara. 1 out here in the 6th, 6-1 lead for Bonner. And if you're Corey, what are you looking to do here, Brendan? Besides putting the ball over the fence.
Yeah, I think you got to be patient. I think at this point, you're back-to-back walks. You've got a guy whose pitch count isn't very high. I'm not saying necessarily take until a strike, but just be very selective.
We'll see what Corey does. Tall right-hander, stands it from the right side. Righty-righty matchup here on Delco Baseball Now's Game of the Week. 6-1 lead for Bonner. Runners on first and second for O'Hara. Corey grounded to a double play in his last at-bat back in the 4th. First pitch here, the at-bat from Ortega is in there for a strike. At the knees, it's 0-1. Jason Corey with an opportunity here to move the line.
My eye radar gun tells me that most of the game he's probably been around 86-ish.
Yeah, the last 2 innings, ever since they had the long one, it looks like he's been down.
The 0-1 is hit on the ground over to third. Redding throws to first. Could have an opportunity to tag the runner again over there third.
He was worried he was too far behind him, so I get where he was looking.
That's a fair area.
So he'll take the easy out over there at first. Heading to third is Coleman. Quinn will advance up to second. There are now 2 outs.
Especially with this kind of lead.
And here is Jason Campazano coming up. 2 ducks on the pond for Campazano.
He was the star of the bench mob. He was the front and center in the bench mob interview.
Well, a base hit here will get the bench mob going in for the Lions. Let's see what Campazano can do. He was hit by a pitch in his last at bat. And Ortega delivers his first pitch low. It's 1-0. Campazano just really looking to put the ball in play. Sean Vaughn on deck, who singled in his last at bat against Ortega. Campazano this year, a .364 hitter. Looking to get at least 1 run in here. 1 ball and no strikes the count. Ortega, the righty, comes set, trying to protect a 5-run lead for the Friars. The 1-0 is at the knees, called strike. It's 1-1. And good for Ortega, who's been really attacking the lower part of the zone. The umpire's calling it a strike, and he's been attacking it. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Ortega, the righty on the mound, facing the righty Campazano. Runners on second and third for O'Hara. Trying to get their second and perhaps third run of the game. The 1-1 pitch is low. It's 2-1. Great block from Morano. And will become 2-1.
Better than Mr. Spot low than Mr. Spot high. If you leave that one a little too high in the zone, the game could be 6-3 or 6-4 very quickly.
And now Romano will come out to the mound and talk things over with Ortega. 1 ball and 2 balls and 1 strike to count to Jason Campazano here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Runners on second and third for O'Hara. Romano slowly making his way back to the plate. Checking his catcher's gear out. Looks like we're ready to go. And Campazano steps back into the box. Ortega on the hill. O'Hara threatening here in the bottom half of the 6th. 6-1 lead for Bonner. They need a couple here, do the Lions. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Ortega delivers home. This one is inside. Brushed Campazano off the plate, and it's now 3-1. That base is open over there at first, but with Sean Vaughn, who already has a hit against Ortega, it'll be dangerous to bring him up with the bases juice.
There's a very good chance that if he gets on, he might not face Ortega.
3 balls and 1 strike to count. The bench mob trying to make some noise here for O'Hara. Ortega, the righty, comes set and delivers home the 3-1 pitch. This one is low. Ball 4, and the bases are full Lions, courtesy of 3 walks here in the inning for Ortega. And with 2 outs, they'll bring up Sean Vaughn, and this is a big spot in this ball game. Looks like Coach...
They're going to let him stay, it looks like.
Yeah, looks like Coach DeBarby is going to leave him in, as Brendan said, and it's a lefty-righty matchup. Vaughn steps in the left-handed batter's box. This is a big moment here in this game of the week. O'Hara trying to survive and keep any chance of winning here alive. They need a couple, as I said earlier. Ortega, the righty, comes set, trying to protect this 5-run lead. And the righty delivers home. First pitch here is lined, but it's caught by the shortstop, Hernandez. A jumping catch by Sergio Hernandez, and the defense for Bonner, which has caused them issues this season, stands strong here in the 6th, and Ortega dances out of damage here in the 6th. We played 6 full innings here at Cardinal O'Hara High School. We'll head to the top of the 7th. Bonner leading O'Hara 6-1 here in PCL play.
Sports sucks. Yeah, Patrick McManus is pitching now. How's your phone doing battery-wise? Hanging in?
15.
All right, well, that should be able to get us through the end of the game. I'll have mine ready to go if needed. We'll use my mics. We'll use my mic for the cameras or for the interviews. I'll check in with the battery after this half inning.
That was our opportunity to have 5.
Welcome back here to Delco Baseball Now's Game of the Week. 6-1 lead for Bonner as the Friars facing off against the Lions. Top of the 7th we go. 5, 6, and 7 due up. Romano, DeRita, and Redding. New pitcher for O'Hara. Brendan, want to tell us about him a little bit?
That's Patrick McManus. He missed the early part of the season with an injury. He was one of their main starters last year. Getting the other microphone connected for when we got to switch it over.
So McManus going to be on the mound here for O'Hara, trying to keep the deficit at 5 and give the Lions a fighting chance there in the 7th.
Let's talk about deflating your dugout, though, after you get a swing like that and a bat like that. And it's hard because, I would have, if I'm a coach there, after 3 walks to load the bases, you probably want to be a little more patient, but you got to pitch to hit. And, if that's 2 feet over to the left, it's 6-3 with second and third, so it's really hard to fault him for that. But, yeah, it's just a tough blow for O'Hara.
Tough game, Brendan, ain't it? Tough game. Here as you hit the ball hard and nothing to show for it, though.
And then you'll get a bloop single, your next game that you hit 60 miles an hour. And it'll all be okay. It all bounces out. Some years more than others.
Romano fouls the first pitch off. It's 0-1. McManus, again, the new pitcher for the Lions. 6 runs on 8 hits, no errors for Bonner. 1 run on 4 hits and 3 errors for the Cardinal O'Hara Lions. Romano, the catcher for Bonner, reached via single in his last at-bat. No balls and 1 strike to count. McManus comes home. His 0-1 pitch is swung on and missed. Big cut there from Romano. He definitely wasn't just swinging for a bloop single there, and it's 0-2.
It's point in the game. Why wouldn't you? Wind blowing out.
So beautiful day for baseball. Really is. Cloud cover providing enough shade for us here, but the pitcher's mound is about in the shadows almost. Might be a little tough to hit here compared to the earlier part of today's game. No balls and 2 strikes to count to Cole Romano, the catcher, hitting .222 entering today's contest. The 0-2 is upstairs, brushed him off, and it's now 1-2.
A little bit of zip from McManus there on the mound.
Yeah, coming out throwing hard, throwing a couple strikes. I'm sure Coach Benedict is happy with that. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. The pitch home for McManus is a little bit low, perhaps outside. It's 2-2. To Romano, Gavin Dorita, again, is on deck for Bonner. And the defensive positioning for O'Hara, Vaughn, Quinn, McGilvery in the outfield, Campazano, Till, Coleman, and Corey in the infield. There's a swing and a miss. Strikeout there for McManus.
Tell you what, another hit from Gavin Dorita could sneak into a 3-for-4 2 RBI player game,
Romano is down on strikes, and Gavin Dorita now coming up. The lefty steps into the batter's box. Again, doing the catching for O'Hara is Flynn. On the mound, McManus, who just took over here in the 7th in relief for Michael Brown, who pitched an inning plus. Adam Schreiber started the game today. First pitch here is fouled back to the cage against Dorita, and it's 0-1. Dorita, as you guys have said, a couple singles today for Bonner.
Yeah, he was the one that took advantage after that error way back in the, I believe, 3rd inning.
No balls and 1 strike to count. Here in the 7th, 1 out. Bonner leading O'Hara 6-1. David Chmansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you here. The 0-1 pitch is on the outside corner. Good pitch there from McManus, and it's 0-2. McManus coming in, throwing strikes, throwing pretty hard.
Podrick is a very cool name, I might add.
I agree. Very cool.
Very Irish.
He's not a golfer. Podrick.
Here's the 0-2 pitch from McManus. This one is
I
low.
have a good answer for that.
It's now 1-2.
There was a Podrick in Game of Thrones. That counts.
That does not.
Does not count.
1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Bonner again trying to get their 9th win overall this season and make it 6 wins in the last 7 games. Really playing good baseball at the right time. This is when you want to start playing your best baseball. End of April, heading into May as the regular season really begins to head into the final stretch. This pitch here has popped up over our heads. Ben, this might be you. No, it's over our heads. And it's fouled off into the trees. So remain 1 to Dorita. Yeah, that's where the minor league stadiums play the sound of your windshield cracking. Yeah.
It might actually be a windshield here.
1 ball and 2 strikes to count. McManus comes set with 1 out here in the 7th, and the righty will step off. Corners playing in here, especially over there at third. Campazano is on the edge of the grass. And the next pitch here is outside, so it's now 2-2 to Gavin Dorita. Dorita has really kind of peppered the right side of the field today, really kind of pulling the baseball to that gap between Corey and Coleman over there.
Come on, Gavin, how bad do you want the player of the game interview?
Right.
Does he want to tell us his favorite water ice flavor? We're going to find out. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the count. McManus comes set with 1 out, and the righty kicks home the 2-2 Inside, it's 3-2.
Named Padre.
I said favorite golfer. Boom, done.
3 balls, 2 strikes to count. Gavin Dorita looking to get on base for the 3rd time today. With 1 out here in the 7th. Again, 6-1 lead for Bonner. David Spansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you here in our Delco Baseball Now Game of the Week. Glad you could join us. The 3-2 pitch home for McManus is hit in the air out to right field. McGilvery is back. Now the center fielder Quinn is over to his left, and he'll make the catch right in front of the welcome sign in right center field. And Dorita is retired with a fly ball to center. Hit the ball hard there, did Dorita, but is unable to get his 3rd hit of the contest. 2 outs. And looking for the 1-2-3 inning is McManus. Jack Redding coming up here for Bonner. Shade's really creeping in from the 3rd base side. A lot of trees on this side. This is where the spectators are lucky if you're in the shade. That's where we are, with a nice batting practice cage in front of us. First pitch here is hit in the air again out to center field. This one blowing in. Quinn comes in, so does McGilvery. Almost collide, but Quinn will call off McGilvery and make the catch to end the 7th. So a 1-2-3 inning for McManus. And McManus is out of the 7th. A couple fly balls and a strikeout. We've played 6.5, 6-1 lead for Bonner. Final 3 outs, final opportunity coming up for the Cardinal O'Hara Lions. After this, 7, 8, and 9 to up Steigerwalt, McGilvery, and Flynn for the home Lions.
Be good. You're at 11. Well, unless O'Hara scores a run here, we're going to have another game where the losing team of the game scores exactly one run. It's kind of weird at this point that, I mean, I know we always try and come when good pitchers are around, but it's uncanny at this point.
Here we go to the bottom of the 7th. Last chance for Cardinal O'Hara, David Spansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you here. And looking for the complete game is Johnny Ortega. And we've had a lot of these, Brendan, haven't we? A lot of complete games.
Cole Sanford, Jimmy Boyle. We had Danny
Jack Quinn earlier this year when you guys were here?
I think he came out. He came out. Because that was we've had a couple. But this was definitely a little more interesting because we've had some with very high strikeouts, but this hasn't been the case. He's been throwing strikes, pitching to contact, allowing his defense to make plays, and just living down in the zone. You know, there's a lot of different ways to be a good pitcher.
Absolutely. Well said, Brendan. And Jake Steigerwald is going to lead off the bottom of the 7th for Cardinal O'Hara. Last chance. Final 3 outs. Ortega going back to work for Monsignor Bonner. Bonner will meet quickly before they start the 7th. Friars trying to get their 9th win of the season, win 6 of the last 7. Coach DeBarby said they're starting to play their best baseball. Haven't quite gotten there yet, but maybe after this win today,
I think
they're getting closer.
So what PCL playoffs work is 10 out of 13 teams make it. 7 through 10 play the wild card round to get to 8 teams. So I think there's a legit chance they could kind of climb into that host territory, kind of maybe that 3 or 4 range.
First pitch here to Steigerwalt is low. It's 1-0. And Ortega on the mound for Bonner. 7, 8, and 9, Steigerwalt, McGilvery, and Flynn. Stay tuned to our social media for our post-game coverage, including an interview with our coach and player of the game. Bonner 3 outs away from getting the opportunity to talk with Coach DeBarby, and a player of the game. The 1-0 is upstairs. It's 2-0.
At this point, certainly looks like Johnny Ortega. If he completes this off, complete game with just 1 run allowed. Poor Michael Coleman, who had a great day at the plate, but pitchers reign supreme so far this year, apparently.
2 balls and no strikes to count to Steigerwald. Here's the 2-0 home. This one is popped up first base side. That's well foul. Dorita barely gave it a look. Heads into the spectator crowd. Again, a very large crowd here on tap. Maybe a little less than it was now, but as we get closer to dinner, but it is still a very large crowd, mainly down the first and third base line. Some fans out there near the scoreboard in left field. You can kind of pull up your car, park, watch a couple innings. Ortega will step off. Again, 2 balls and 1 strike to count to Steigerwald. But really a great place to watch the game here at Cardinal O'Hara.
Gotta be careful parking out there in left field.
Most definitely, especially with the home run earlier from Coleman. The 2-1 swing and a miss. So you can see Ortega kind of reared back there and threw it home. And it's now 2 balls and 2 strikes to count to Jake Steigerwald. Again, O'Hara looking to stay alive. Lions trailing this one 6-1. 1 run on 4 hits, 3 errors. And the errors really cost them earlier in this game. Allowed Bonner to jump out to a 4-0 lead.
That was the difference in this game.
2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Ortega comes set. The righties pitch home. Is blooped in the air out to left field. And this ball is down. Coleman misread that with the shadows. And stopping at first is Steigerwalt. And Jake Steigerwald is aboard with a leadoff bloop single. And, that's just the way the game goes, right? Last inning, that final out by Vaughn was hit hard to the shortstop Hernandez. And this one, a bloop single, going to fall. One not a hit. This one going to fall for Steigerwald.
It wouldn't have mattered anyway, but I'm not sure what happened with Michael Coleman.
Maybe he slipped.
He did like a somersault.
Yeah, it was either he slipped or maybe misjudged it, but I think he might have slipped out there.
Yeah, might have a pinch hitter. Coach Benedict is talking to the umpires right now, and looks like maybe a pinch runner. So we got a pinch runner.
Thomas is going to come in, the freshman, and pinch run over there at first. And we will still have Sean McGilvery, the batter, for O'Hara.
Single back in the third.
Yeah, hitting 286 this season is McGilvery, a sophomore, so going to be here for a couple more years here at Cardinal O'Hara. McGilvery flied out in his last at-bat, singled earlier, as Brendan said.
Worth noting, he is a no batting gloves guy, it appears.
Righty-righty matchup. Nobody out here in the bottom of the seventh. Ortega's first pitch here is in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Yeah, Ortega trying to work ahead here are these hitters. When he's fallen behind, he's had some trouble today here against Cardinal O'Hara. David Chwansky, Brendan Ricciardi with you here on Delco Baseball Now's YouTube channel. Glad you could join us. No balls and one strike the count. Ortega kicks home. This one's inside. 1-1. Romano again kind of pump fake back to first, but Steigerwald is in there without a throw. Again, the shadow is really beginning to creep in between the pitcher's mound and home plate. There's a shadow. Here's the 1-1 pitch home. This one is hit on the ground, chopped to third. Redding with a nice play to second for one. The throw to first is scooped out in time. Double play for O'Hara. Grounds into the double play, but double play turn there by Bonner. And there are two outs. Ortega 1 out away from the complete game.
And that kind of
The 1-1 is hit on the ground, back to the mound. Ortega is up with it, and his throw to first is in time, and O'Hara by a final score of 6-1. It's another game of the week win for Monsignor Bonner. We were wondering who was going to be the team to get to 2 wins here. Will get their 9th win of the season. Just an overall great performance from Johnny Ortega today.
Yeah, he really didn't have much in terms. Really pounded the zone. Really didn't have much in terms of strikeouts either. Really, it was just getting ahead of hitters all day, trusting his defense, and they paid him off.
Yeah, Ortega goes there. And again, we saw a lot of good hitting today, right? We saw the home run inside the park homer from Brendan Till, but especially, when you look up and down the lineup for Bonner, a real good day at the plate for Michael Coleman. Some good at-bats there from Ryan. Gavin Dorita with a couple hits as well. All around good performance for Bonner. And, when you talk about really a complete game, Bonner getting healthy, and this is just going to continue, their ascendancy, at least in the PCL, had some injuries. Never really got them back.
There's no way ascendancy is a word, is it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, ascendancy? Is yes?
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I would have said ascent.
Cool word.
Yep.
There you go. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I would not mind these two
Learned
teams playing in the playoffs.
You learned the word today.
It would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The PCL and two of these, underrated teams matching up here today at Cardinal O'Hara. Again, final score. Bonner 6, O'Hara 1. To wrap it up completely, again, had that 4-run inning earlier in the game in the third for Bonner, which pushed them across the finish line. Bonner going to improve to 9-4 this season, 5-4 in PCL play. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in to this game of the week here on Delco Baseball's YouTube channel. Stay tuned to our social media. We'll have a bunch of interviews coming up for you, some other post-game content, so looking forward to that. And we will announce our next game of the week coming up in a little bit. So for Brendan Ricciardi, I'm David Chwansky. Have a great rest of your night, Delaware County. We'll see you in the next one. Bonner defeats Cardinal O'Hara by a final score of 6-1. Good night.